Welcome to Parnell Park. It is the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Hurling Championship. We've got two games for you live today. Coming up a little bit later, St Bridget's in action against St Vincent's. But right now it's Lucan Sarsfields against Craobh Chiaráin. Both of these teams lost their openers. Craobh Chiaráin heavily beaten by Kilmacud Crokes. Lucan somewhat closer against St Vincent's. Joe Fortune with me for this game. Joe, what are you expecting?
Yeah, really looking forward to it, Oisín, to be honest, because like you said there a couple of seconds ago, the two teams here would have aspirations to get to the knockout stages of Dublin Championship, and two of them unfortunately lost their first round game, so I'd expect a massive battle. And the usual from Craobh as well, that usual in your face, aggressive, really fast, type hurling to hand. And then look, Lucan have had a great league campaign this year, and went on and beat Ballyboden really well in the league final, so would have been disappointed, I suppose, maybe with their performance levels against Vincent. So look, it's all to play for today in the first game.
And you are right, they both have knockout aspirations, and last year it was Lucan who ended Craobh Chiaráin's championship season in the quarter-finals. Lucan have reached the last two semi-finals. Before that they got to the quarter-finals, and the quarter-finals again in 2018. For Craobh Chiaráin, they've been building. Last year got to the quarter-final, 2020, the group stages 2019, the semi-finals. So these two are capable of getting out of their groups. Now, just in case you're watching us for the first time, we were on Wednesday night, but if you missed that, we want to remind you there is a different format in Dublin this year. It's two groups of 5. The top 3 qualify for the knockout stages. The group winners each go straight to the semi-finals. Second and third go on to the quarter-finals. But 4th and 5th in each group play off in relegation playoffs. And it's not like if you lose that you get another chance. If you lose that, you're down. So if you finish 4th or 5th in the group, there's a potentially big punishment. 2 teams come up from Senior 2, so the 2 finalists in Senior 2 will go automatically into Senior 1. So that's just a reminder. Both of these teams, as we say, lost their opener. For Craobh, they were beaten well by Kilmacud Crokes. For Lucan, they just about lost to St Vincent's. Tommy Walsh, the great Kilkenny man, would tell you that sometimes it's nearly harder to bounce back from a narrow defeat, because people are saying, well, you should have won, and you kind of get that into your head.
Yeah, look, to a point as well, Oisín, what you said is so important. I think that the way this to set up this year in Dublin is so significant now to these two teams, because you don't want a 2 or 3 week break now and looking at the fact that, look, if we don't win our third match here, like we're more than likely in a relegation playoff. So like for me, the big thing is, I suppose, for both managements here, and I know Lucan under new management this year as well as Craobh, and the big thing for me is how do the lads respond to the last day. Don't know if I necessarily agree about a small one. Like Lucan had a massively successful league campaign this year. Craobh do what Craobh do. They go through the league campaign, they get blood into some of the young lads, and they make sure that they get their best team out for a championship. And look, I know myself from my own experience against Craobh with Ballyboden and against Lucan, you won't get anything easy off either of these two teams. But the big thing is how do you respond to the last day, and remember as well that congested nature of when those fixtures was as well as hugely. How many lads are injured. I see the 2 Walshes are back in for Lucan today. Luke has been a very good underage hurler for Dublin, so it's all to play for today. I'd expect a big battle in the first 10 or 15 minutes, and one thing I think might be significant today is the team that holds their discipline the most, because both of them will be keen and eager. That's the politest way I can put it to you. So let's make sure to try and keep as many people on the field as we can to get the best game that we can possible.
What about the inclusion of Chris O'Leary for Lucan from Inishannon? Valley Rovers is the club in Cork. He's a big addition, isn't he? He's
huge, yeah. And look, I've worked with Paul O'Donoghue this year with Westmeath, and Paul is a very good coach, but he rates Chris very highly. Obviously he was part of that Cork senior setup for a long time, and I'd imagine if he keeps going like he did in the latter stages of the league, that he'll be involved possibly in some capacity in the coming months in a Dublin shirt possibly too.
There is games going on in O'Toole Park. We'll try and keep you in touch with those matches as well. For Craobh Chiaráin, Darren Kelly still doing it after all of these years. He's an important player, is he? As is Gary Kelly at the back.
Yeah, and Gary, one thing I love about Gary is that when he gets a ball, there's never panic. Gary's distribution is always top class. I had actually got Darren as a minor in 07, and he's been there a long time now as well. But look, Craobh have brought on some good players as well, and young Conor Ryan, Billy Ryan, a lot of people talking about Keane Derwin and pushing on maybe in a senior capacity. A lot of noise there now you can see from both warm-ups too, so that both of them will be ready. But look, for Lucan, one thing I want you to look at today, young Charlie Kerr, I've been really impressed with him every time I've seen him, and I think he's a really big potential for the future.
Well, he played well last year. He was involved. The benefit of that experience, I'm sure, will come to fruition today. The handshakes and players going into positions. This is where the friendliness stops. Our referee is Jason Buckley. It's overcast, but it is mild and it is warm. There is a slight breeze blowing into the golf course end. It's the first of a double header here, and it's Lucan against Craobh Chiaráin, and we're underway. That's a good, strong pick up by Chris Crummy. You wouldn't expect anything else. He's overcarried it, forced into the overcarry by Carl Salmon and Billy Ryan, and it's a free to Craobh Chiaráin.
Yeah, you can see the celebration as well. Like, look, I love to see Crummy at 6, to be honest with you. For me, that's what he is, 5, 6, 7 all day long. And look, he got caught for steps there, but look, the celebration is good. The Craobh are definitely up for it, and there's a bit of off the ball stuff carrying on there as well, just getting to know each other.
Forbes is welcoming Chris O'Leary to Championship Hurling. He actually pulled his hurley off him, and the referee hasn't paid any attention. It's just a bit of silly beggars, just a bit of mind games from the defender. Craobh Chiaráin hit the front here.
Leary will be well used to that. Like, I wouldn't say that to rattle him at all.
That's a very solid strike, a very decent hit, and a good lead. It's Cian Derwin who puts it over. Lucan going direct, trying to sweep it up as Fitzgerald. He's beaten to it back there as Darren Kelly wears 14, but very rarely actually plays in the 14 position. And now Lucan have got a free in.
Yeah, you can see the big celebrations on the line again there. Like, you know, you can see the setup inside. Now, obviously, with Craobh, they've put young Paul Kelly inside as well, and Paul is fast, like and with Fanny and Sanga as well. So they're kind of playing that 2 to triangle inside, and young Billy Ryan will probably play off them.
Chris O'Leary lining it up, the Cork man. Working in Dublin, which is why he's up playing for a Dublin club. And he puts that one over. Chris O'Leary played underage for Cork, was involved in wider Cork senior squads, wasn't far off playing league and championship for Cork, but now he is living and working in Dublin. Here's Gary Kelly, he's dispossessed. Great stuff from Kerr. What a finish. Charlie Kerr, he's a player that you mentioned before the game, and he's just showed us why.
Yeah, and look, it was very obvious there that Lucan were allowing Craobh that short puck out, and Kerry came in. Look, I've been impressed with him every time I've seen him. I know Paul raves about him as well, and it's a good start for him.
Fantastic start now. Can Lucan drive it on? Looking to run after it is Colin Walsh. Battling for it is Conor Ryan. Craobh Chiaráin won't step back, we know that for certain. Taking it is Colin Walsh. Luke Walsh moves it on to Chris Crummy. Crummy might have goal on mind here. They're going to try and work it in perhaps. Here's Paul Crummy. Paul Crummy. It's wide, and that's really frustrating for Lucan, because Crummy could have gone to the man inside who is completely isolated, or he could have just tapped it over easily. And look, it's easy to say it from up here, but I think he'll be desperately disappointed not to have scored that.
No, you're right, Ush. Listen, it was a big chance, and Chris came out of centre, did a really good run and took the man on, and created that space inside. And look, Paul could have actually gone for the goal. I think that the chance was on there.
And Dowling was inside as well. Now Craobh Chiaráin hit back immediately, going after the Zosanga. Really good work by John Bellew, the captain. He's after getting the pass away there, and O'Keneela hits it long. 2-on-2 inside. Spills kindly for Gary Kelly. Kelly goes long. Brilliant interception by Luke Walsh. There's far few better sights in this world than seeing a hurler go up in the air and catch it one-handed, is there?
Yeah, Walsh is in from the last day as well. He'd been out injured, came on and got a couple of scores against Vincent's. He's done well there now so far. Like, there's Chris again.
From Crummy.
Yep.
Great shot from Crummy. Good pass by Dowling.
Bellew came out really well there, like tough, strong. You know, he's obviously he's inside on Usanga, and like in fairness, like what a ball to win and come out, and good distribution again.
Eugene Farrell spills it more than passes it, but it is picked up by Stephen O'Brien. O'Brien lobs it down the park. Craobh Chiaráin need to start winning some ball. They're losing all the battles at the moment. Granted, early doors. Chris Crummy slots it out to Colin Walsh. Lovely footwork from Colin Walsh. Two waiting for it on this near side. Owen O'Keneela. Kelly had his arm up high. Not the most vicious tackle in the world, but you just can't leave your arm around the neck like that.
Yeah, and look, Keneally kind of dragged it as well, which is good. Like, in fairness, he took the ball well, and a good ball across again. Like, Chris is not panicking with ball. Like, they're distributing the ball well. Actually impressed so far as well with Rollo in the middle of the field. He's actually creating an awful lot of space into those pockets, and Craobh are finding it hard to get past that Lucan half-back line.
Chris O'Leary hits the mark for the second time. Well, Craobh got the first score of the game, but it's been all Lucan since.
It has, and they're really up for it. Like, you can see the half-back line is dominating, but the midfield as well, Smith as well, he's really working hard in around the middle.
And here they go again. Colin Walsh. It's a good pass. Is it going to be a good point? The answer is yes, they're on fire at Sono Canila.
Yeah, Craobh need to settle things down here a small bit now as well, because it's score after score at the minute, and like again this half back line has been dominant so far. McCaffrey is again, he's like showing it, like he's just breaking ball to ground all the time.
Matthew McCaffrey kicks it to Chris O'Leary. Chris O'Leary over the ball, so strong, hacks it but only as far as Darren Kelly, I beg your pardon. Referee having a good look. It's right under this scramble. It's really intense. It's not for the faint of heart. Kevin Fitzgerald, Matthew McCaffrey.
Yeah, great ref, and he saw it. You know something that's frustrating at times as well when you watch this. So many referees blow those kind of that ball on the ground, and in fairness, he let it go, and Jason actually let the thing go and allowed that free to happen for Lucan. But I just think like Craobh need to kind of get a ball here, and the short puck out is not working for them at the minute. So they need to try and get somebody in around the middle to get on ball and deliver ball inside, because they have got two dangerous men inside if they can get the ball in.
Chris O'Leary from a tight enough angle. Hits it over. 3 frees for Chris O'Leary. Missed a penalty the other night against Vincent's. Almost hit Derek Ryan, who was filming it behind the goal.
Yeah, some people said should have.
I think he was aiming at him. I don't think he missed it at all. Forward it goes from Derwin, but it was a bit aimless, and he gave Paul Kelly no chance.
Yeah, but again, it's down to the work rate of Smith in the middle, and you can hear Johnny McCaffrey kind of tend to him all the time. It's work, and Rollo actually got that hook in, which is most important. Great ball.
Well taken by Charlie Carr. Has Dowling running in the middle, looks to pick out Dowling, just miscued it slightly, and Darren Kelly is there. Derwin tries to shake off his man and does. Rollo Smith. That's good cornerback play. Paul Claffey tidies it up. John Bellew, the captain, back to Shawnee McClelland, who only started playing in goal last year. Took to it like a duck to water, and that's a brilliant puck of a ball. He's unlucky that the back has won the possession, but Ciarán Dowling didn't give up on it. Now it has fallen to Stephen O'Brien. Owen Forbes.
Yeah, Gary Kelly did really, really well there now to get the ball out, and this is a ball he can win.
Paul Kelly tries to turn on that, but he's stuck to by Paul Claffey. And then coming in to help out is Chris Crummy. Luke Walsh. It slips, almost came into the path of Paul Crummy, who hasn't given up on it. Here's Gary Kelly. Batted down by Walsh. Taken up by Forbes. Inside it goes to Salmon. They're making hard work of this Stephen O'Brien. They just can't get out of that corner. Now they do. O'Brien, James Finn. It's 2-on-2. Paul Kelly takes it. Steve Kelly dances inside. Steve Kelly gets a much needed and hard won score for Craobh Ciaráin.
Yeah, good score by Steve. Just a bit of a reminder now to the defender there as well when he came back out again.
That's a good take by Chris O'Leary. Looking for his first from play. Hasn't got it though. Luke can get it back. Luke Walsh. Luke Walsh from right out the country. A second wide in a row for Lucan.
Again, you can see the slowdown and puck out here to give him a chance to reset in around the middle, because they weren't winning anything in that half forward line. Well done.
Great catch, and he's won the free as well. That's a big win for Craobh Ciaráin. Cian Derwin in absolutely no rush here. Still a long way to go. Derwin. Point. Makes hard work of it there, Matthew McCaffrey. Recovers well, much to his credit, John Bellew. Interesting to see Craobh back off and effectively concede the puck out. Here's Claffey. John Bellew. That's a great catch. Charlie Kerr at it again. Can he match it with a great finish? Yes, he can. He's now on 1-1.
And Bellew's had a great year for Dublin as well, and he comes out, he's so composed on the ball, you know, and a great ball into Charlie, and Charlie puts the ball over the bar. See, Chris has been smart as well, like he's cutting off that kind of aerial threat in around the centre, and he's closing the pockets down big time, so that's not allowing Craobh win that ball.
And Charlie Kerr is a quality player, has played under 20 and minor for Dublin. One would not be surprised if senior honours were to follow. Paul Kelly gets it off to Jack Murray, who slots it over. Good score from Jack Murray.
Yeah, good score, won the ball on the ground as well, and like you can see Johnny and Chris trying to just manage to make sure that the space that Craobh were creating just in around that central area, you know, Lucan had been on top, and then all of a sudden now Craobh won the last two balls. So
Jack Murray, one of the youngest players in this Craobh panel, only 20. Was part of Dublin development panels in the past. Chasing after this Charlie Kerr. Colin Walsh fumbles, tries to get it back into the hand. Conor Ryan. Good take by Finn. Just about stays in play, looking for Asanga. Getting out in front of him is John Bellew. Finding Chris Crummy. Lucan outnumbered back there, but still they get the possession through Paul Crummy, who measures and gets a great score. His first of the game.
Yeah, Chris looked up, and I suppose I don't know, Paul will thank him too much for the ball, but like great win by Paul, and again, you know, super score from out the sideline, because there's a lot of noise over there too, and in fairness to Crummy, he took that score really, really well.
Lee McDermott goes long. It's a beautiful sound, isn't it? That clash of the ash. That's a great take from Chris Crummy.
Great ball.
Fantastic. Ona Cornelia, he's already got one, trying to get away from Darren Kelly. Cornelia gets his shot away, but doesn't get the point. Craobh Chiaráin have a man down.
And I think he's given a free there as well for Cornelia's shot. I think he just saw slapped down by Darren. Like Craobh's work rate is seriously intense in around that central area, you know, but what they don't need to do, like O'Leary I don't think has missed a shot yet from free, so you don't need to be giving away simple frees for this man, because he seems to be a really efficient free taker.
Mm-hmm. Well, Billy Ryan down injured for Craobh Chiaráin at the moment. They don't want to have anyone missing or lose anyone this early, but he would be a big loss.
I'm not too sure. Owen Forbes is too happy where Chris is hitting the free from, so he's just reminded him to go back a small bit. I know the linesman is keeping an eye on that there as well, but like again, positionally you can see that the Craobh have those two lads inside, like they're not really getting ball, and when it's going in, Bellew is sweeping everything up inside, and you can see Matt McCaffrey just sitting in front of the two of them as well.
Billy Ryan, good to continue. A very talented young hurler on the Dublin team that beat Galway in the under-20 a couple of years ago. And Chris O'Leary slots that one over, his fourth free of the game. Just missed it. O'Keneela, lovely turn from O'Keneela. McCaffrey tries to get inside on Forbes. No foul. Here's Kieran Dowling, Dowser as he's known.
That's good savage score from Johnny as well. They're like, to know that ball off, you know, Johnny still has it, a quick ball from hand and up to Dowser, and Dowser off his left. Great strike, great score.
Lee McDermott. It's a Lucan ball. Don't forget St. Bridget's against St. Vincent's coming up a little bit later on. We'll also be getting score updates from O'Toole Park, where there's a double header.
Yeah, O'Leary did well there, won his own ball, popped it back, but I think there was a high hurl to the helmet, so in fairness to Jason, he spotted that now as well. Very little movement off the ball though, like it's very static when the ball is not moving. You know, there's maybe it's a warm day, there's a very, very slight breeze, it's quite heavy, but there's very little movement in both forward lines inside.
How difficult is it to play in that kind of heavy weather? Because even though it's not sunny, it is warm, and as you say, it's like the atmosphere is kind of sitting on you a bit. Yeah,
I think what more worried me this morning when I saw the rain that was forecast for today and tomorrow. Like the lads have been training in like Costa del Sol type scenarios for the last 2 weeks in Ireland, so I don't think it'll worry them too much. I think the fitness level, like Lucan look fit, they look strong, you know, and you'd wonder will that be a factor as we go towards into the second half.
Chris O'Leary adds another one, his 5th of the game. Billy Ryan, down injured a couple of minutes ago. Good to see him back. O'Keneela intercepts. Nice bounce pass to Luke Walsh. They make it look so simple. It's anything but. 1-on-1 as they contest the high ball. Fighting for it is Charlie Kerr, but winning the battle this time is Gary Kelly. Gary Kelly diverts it out to Darren Kelly, who is part of an under-21 team that reached an All-Ireland final, along with his manager Alan McCrabb. It's a free. A little bit over anxious there was Cian Derwin.
Yeah, it's a high tackle, and in fairness, the one thing as well, like, you know, Dowser has really worked on, and you can see the McCaffrey voice coming to him as well. No fouls, and Dowser doesn't react. You know, maybe before that would have happened where he turns around, reacts, and he doesn't. He's maturing as a player as well. But look, impressed by Lucan so far. They look fit, they look strong. O'Leary hasn't missed a free yet. I'd love to see a better ball going in, and I'd say Billy Ryan and them are going, like, you know, at what stage are you actually going to give us the ball inside? You know, Conor Ryan, Usanga as well, not really getting any ball, even though they've taken him out now to centre forward.
That's a good score from Chris O'Leary.
Yeah, it's a fine strike. You know, he's a fair distance out there as well, and just even the trajectory of the ball, like, he hits the ball really, really well. Love to see him getting on more from play now as well. You know, he's got a bit of hardship for the first couple of minutes, kind of welcome to Dublin, but let's see, can he get more from play.
Well, he seems to be enjoying his time in Dublin so far. A league winner with Lucan, and now he's tapping over frees to beat the band against Craobh Chiaráin. They did lose against St Vincent's on Wednesday night in O'Toole Park, but a win here would get them back going. Sweeping it forward, O'Keneela can't keep it in play though. It's a very tough group. St Bridget's, Vincent's and Crokes, the other 3 teams. Crokes, of course, the Dublin champions.
Yeah, you made a great point at the start, Ocean, that, like, if you lose this second match here, like, you're under pressure big time, going into the break in 3 weeks' time.
Paul Claffey winning the possession is James Finn. Finn trying to get away from Walsh. It's a good run by Finn. He has Usanga inside. Usanga, good goal.
Good goal, and they needed it. In fairness, it was a great run up along the sideline, and Fran was there, like, as well, and a good finish inside, you know, just underneath Shawnee's legs. But look, they needed it to make a game. We don't want to go back to what it was on Wednesday night here as well. You want a game out of it too, and that's Craobh back in with a shout.
Well, you can sense the boost that has given Craobh Chiaráin. It is a line ball. Conor Ryan jogging back to take it.
I often find funny at times, like, how the big men kind of tend to hit the young lads, you know, and then I'm just looking off the ball stuff here, and then when Chris walks over, when Crummy walks over, there's no hitting going on then, like, you know, it's just I find it ironic at times.
Craobh Chiaráin win the possession. It's opening up again for them. Jack Murray's inside. If they can find him, they can't. It's robbed back by Smith. The execution just a little bit off. Here comes McCaffrey. McClelland, who could do nothing about that goal that he just conceded. Johnny McCaffrey.
Yeah, they'll celebrate that. And in fairness to Craobh, like, they're working hard. They really are trying to work hard. And, like, the wrist, that was so unlucky, that goal chance that was inside. Like, the wrist that the 2 young Ryans have as well. And, you know, you can see Kelly on the wing as well. Like, they're really they have that kind of off the cuff sense of hurling too, like, you know, which they've always had for years, and they can back it up, I suppose, with that physical nature too. But I just think Lucan look impressive, they look fit, they look strong, and I suppose every time that they tend to put the foot down, they'll get that score inside. But I'd say Charlie needs a bit more ball, Paul Crummy inside needs a bit more ball as well.
Cian Derwin, ex-Dublin under-21, was on the Dublin senior panel for a time. It's a good score. Derwin has now scored 3 frees. McClellan goes long. Breaks to Darren Kelly. Left behind, but his teammate has it now. And it's a free out. And Craobh Chiaráin are just beginning to win the battle a little bit. They're beginning to win frees as well.
Yeah, if you get sucked into that kind of congested nature, that battle, like, you know, for me, you know, Craobh have masters at it over the years, like, you know. But look, again, Ryan will be disappointed. You can see the hands up going on the air, like, give me a chance to win the ball.
It's a Lucan line ball.
See, Gary Kelly's come out now kind of just to sit in behind young Forbes at 6, so he's kind of sweeping in front of the 2 inside, because if Lucan see the space that's in front of their full forward line, surely the delivery is fast in.
That's a dangerous dropping ball. McClellan drops it and gets away with it and tidies it up. Really good goalkeeping. Yes, he made the initial fumble, but he dealt with it. Bit of a loose hurley on Chris Crummy as he came walking out. Well, actually, I think he's adjudging that Crummy overcarried and it's a free in.
Yeah, that's harsh enough, I'd say, but again, Keane will probably put this over the bar. Like, Chris came out and he, in fairness, like, he came through a wall of hurls there, but look, Jason's doing a good job. Like, you know, again, there's a lot of noise out there, a lot of shouting and roaring, but again, if you see the space that was inside there in front of both full forwards line, I think it's just been so congested around the centre.
Derwin guides it over again. He's now on 4. Both teams have been good from frees today. McClellan goes shortish to Bellew. Moved on to Rollo Smith. Brilliant dispossession by Derwin. Craobh Chiaráin lose out on the break. Chris Crummy. Crummy. This time he makes sure he's not blown for overcarrying. That's a really casual but calm catch by Paul Crummy. Crummy, who loves to shoot from angles, splits the post.
It's a great score. Great score, Oisin, great score. And again, like, you see that casual nature. Like, when they get the ball inside to Kerr and Crummy, like, they're doing damage all day. And in fairness, Chris put a good ball into his hand there. It's a while though. That's the first time in a while that Lucan has scored.
Darren Kelly, so experienced, so strong. Dispossessed Ono Keneally, spots the run of Fitzgerald but doesn't give it to him. Referee's blown for overcarrying again.
That's 5, I think, is it?
Yeah.
That's 5 times I think that Lucan have been blown for overcarrying. And again, like, the work rate of Paul Crummy there was really, really good. Ono Keneally had turned over ball, but it's a strange one.
Derwin, it has the legs and it has the accuracy. His 5th of the game. Dowling. It's good defending by Craobh Chiaráin. Carl Salmon. Salmon doesn't want to leave this one behind. Taking it up is Kevin Fitzgerald. He has Kerr inside. Kerr wins the free in. And there was no real need for it because he was absolutely surrounded.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Craobh tactically have done well. They've put Gary Kelly in as that extra man in behind, and he seems to be sweeping well in front of the two boys there when they're not. Well, like again, that lateral ball, just hitting straight ball in won't work. Give the ball out to the corners, give them a chance to win it at a diagonal level. But like Gary's done well, but again, no need for that foul, and I'm sure Chris will put this over the bar. Impressed with Shawnee McClellan's puckouts there as well. Like, you know, like obviously Craobh are hunting down that short one, but he's well able to hit rolling around the middle, and you know the ability that Lucan have to win their ball in central areas. There's no reason why he can't put a couple on top of O'Leary as well.
Chris O'Leary. Puts it over. Chris O'Leary from the same club as former Cork hurler Eamon Collins. I remember randomly bumping into Eamon Collins in Beverly Hills.
Thanks for that, Ush.
That's okay. He actually talked a lot about Chris that day and how he was one of the up-and-coming talents around the club. So there was relevance to the story.
No, I've been impressed by him so far. Like, I'd like to see him more ball from play, like, to be honest, but that's good defending there as well, just to get it out. But like, Johnny needs to make sure he gives a good ball here now.
McCaffrey, it is a good ball. It's well taken by Ona Keneally. Keneally with the diagonal 2-on-2 inside, taking it down is Crummy. Crummy gets it up, running inside is Chris O'Leary. Crummy takes it on himself, looking for his third, and he hasn't got it. Not right now anyway.
He's talking to the linesman over there. I don't think he's too happy with the umpires, but it looks like it's wide.
Coola 4 points, Plunkett's 4 points when last we heard. It's Coola's opening game. Plunkett's lost on Wednesday night. That game going on in O'Toole Park. Busy day in senior championship action around Dublin today. McDermott going long, replacing Stephen Chester this year. Taken well by Paul Kelly. Kelly goes outside, having a swing is James Finn.
It's a serious score.
That's a fantastic point from James Finn.
Yeah, that score today, and look, Craobh are not going away. Like, there's what, it's back to 5 points there now again, and you know you're looking at like that really congested nature around the middle. It seemed to be winning a little bit more, but it's a great puck out.
Fantastic. Colin Walsh gives himself a lot of work to do by missing it the first time. Getting across is Gary Kelly, who does really well. And just missing out on that one is Derwin. Slightly misjudged the bounce, although it was very low.
Yeah, it was a great puck out by Shawnee, and again the ball should have been taken to hand rather than hurl one in the air. But look, again, like, you would have expected nothing else coming in here. You knew that there was going to be a big battle here, but you know, Leary will give this one a go, I think, because he got a great one out in the, I think it was in the league final or the game against Vincent's. He put a sideline over the bar from a similar distance.
O'Leary. If he meant that pass, it's fantastic. Again, another one that probably should have been caught. I get the idea. He was trying to knock it down into the path of Charlie Kerr, but it just didn't quite work out.
No, I agree, but look, again, to get to that next level, Oisin, like, there's this thing of putting hurls up for ball, it just doesn't work. Like, the ball has to go to hand, and after a great ball in.
O'Leary gave to Fitzgerald. Excuse me, over the bar.
Good score. Good score.
McDermott falls down to Keneally. Keneally looking for options. Got a bit lucky that one came down to Charlie Kerr, but I think he's going to be dispossessed. Is still battling for it though. Taking it up now, Eugene Farrell. Usanga got that goal for Craobh Chiaráin, the goal that reignited their challenge here. Rollo Smith. Crummy. Dowling's running inside. Dowling takes it and he wins the free. He's fouled by Stephen O'Brien.
Yeah, look, it's not a big science. Like, give the ball in low, I suppose, for two sets of forwards there. That's the type of ball Billy and Ryan would like inside as well. But that ball into Paul was exactly what he wanted. Obviously, he drew the free, but he was away in a hack there as well if he had to go away, if the ref had let it go. Impressed by Smith in the middle. Like, Johnny hasn't lost it as well at wing back. He's brilliant at breaking down that ball and talking to the younger players around him as well. And Owen O'Connell is getting on a lot of ball too. But it's just about making sure that I suppose they take as much, because Craobh won't go away. And look, the sun is out there now as well, so it'll start heating up over the next couple of minutes.
Chris O'Leary lining it up. And as you'd expect, guiding it home. 8 frees scored now for Chris O'Leary. And the difference is 7 points, so it just goes to show you if Craobh could keep their discipline, they'd have a bigger chance in this game.
Yeah, I think we spoke of that at the start. Ball up now high.
Breaks kindly for James Finn. Kicking it away there is Robbie Mahon. What experience he has. Mahon battling for it, leaves it up for his teammate Paul Kelly. Paul Kelly is trapped in a gauntlet, but he does get the ball away. Conor Ryan. Ryan inside for Carl Salmon. Salmon's attempted blocked down by Dowling. Won back brilliantly by Chris O'Leary. Chris Crummy has a man inside. That's Ronan Smith. Smith has 2 inside, but I wonder will he just tap it over? Wide.
Yeah, that's disappointing from Rollo. He'll be very disappointed with that after a great run. And again, Chris is working really, really hard. But look, the big thing I suppose at the moment is to realise that Lucan are really reliant on that discipline of the half back line. They're really reliant on frees at the moment, and I'm sure when Paul gets them inside, and management get them inside, they're going to need to speak about getting that ball from open play, because that's 2 or 3 wides that shouldn't happen at this level.
Lee McDermott pucks it straight out. Line ball for Lucan. And that's half time. The half has actually flown by. Lucan by 7 at the break. 1:15 plays 1:8.
Yeah, look, an entertaining enough half. Like, just going back on what I said a few minutes ago, like you'd think maybe at times that Craobh possibly have more scores from open play, that just that indiscipline from the half back line is just letting them down a small bit, and Chris O'Leary's doing really, really well on the frees.
Well, we'll get a look at the highlights of the first half in just a moment. Some good goals, some good points. As you've mentioned on a few occasions, Joe, if Craobh could keep their discipline,
I wouldn't say that to
they'd have far more of a chance in this game. Derwin, though, has taken advantage of some of Lucan's ill discipline. To be fair, he scored 6 frees. We just saw one of them there. Here's Chris O'Leary, dispossessed Lucan. Great stuff from Kerr.
Yeah, and just Charlie getting side, he finishes really, really well, off his right hand side. And again, I've said it a few times, the likes of him and Paul need that ball in, that it gives them an opportunity to win. I think Chris has been very, very strong and around the centre, with some good scores as well. And look, in fairness to O'Leary, he's been unerring with his frees. Again, good passage to play, and I suppose the easy thing at times, like to commentate on, is it's indiscipline from a half back line. But I suppose Lucan are running that ball down the centre channels a lot, and it's very hard to, I suppose, not to foul when they have that kind of energy around their half forward line in midfield. Again, good score here by Steve Kelly. He breaks the tackle on Johnny and puts the ball over the bar.
Didn't just take it and hit it, actually ran around and created space. We've seen a few of those kind of ruck balls battles today.
Yeah, and I've been impressed how it's been a loud go too. I think sometimes they're blown up a little bit too early. Lads want to compete on the ground as well for ball. And in fairness to Craobh, there's some of their scores from play have been really, really impressive. I just think, I suppose from a management point of view, you need to, I suppose, try and the discipline needs to be better, but at the same time, if they could get the ball inside a bit quicker, it would help. And that's both teams. Again, this was hard work rate by Lucan, good off the shoulder running by Dowser, and a great score off his left hand side.
Fantastic score. Chris O'Leary with one of his 8 frees as it was in the first half.
Yeah, I've been impressed by him so far, and he's broken down ball too. He's popped ball off to Dowser and to Paul as well, but again, I suppose to step up to that next level at club level, you need to make sure it's a great goal. Yeah.
Usanga finishing it.
He finished it well, and Shawnee came out, and Shawnee's been impressive with his puck-outs, but in fairness to Fran, he really buried that under his legs.
Derwin with one of his 5 frees.
Yeah, Keane's been quiet from play. I think Craobh are going to look for more from him. He hasn't really been as kind of as influential as he can be from play, and I think they're going to look for more from him and from Paul Kelly as well, who normally can get on that score sheet for them.
Remember, the loser here at a real disadvantage because it will mean that they'll have lost 2 games in a row. And just to remind you, the bottom 2 in each group playoff in the relegation playoffs, and the top 3 go on to the knockout stages. The group winners go to the semis, second and third to the quarterfinals. A long way to go, but again, just worth reminding you, just in case you didn't catch that stuff in the fine print over the winter. So that is the first half. Lucan Sars in a good position. Joe Fortune and I will return in a few moments. We'll also get Joe's thoughts on Brian Cody stepping away from Kilkenny. 24 years he was in the job, and he won 11 All-Irelands. Hurling will be a little bit strange without him. Don't forget that you can follow us via Twitter at DubGAAOfficial and hashtag GoAheadDSH1. We'll be back in a few minutes. Half-time score in this Go Ahead Dublin Senior Hurling Championship encounter is Lucan 115, Craobh Chiaráin 8 points. And by the way, from O'Toole Park, it's 10-9 to Coola and their clash against Plunkett. So Plunkett's putting up a bit of a fight there against Coola in their opening match. So 10-9 there, 115 to 1-8 here in favour of Lucan. We'll be back with the second half very shortly. Welcome back. We're about to start the second half of Lucan and Craobh Chiaráin in the go-ahead Dublin Senior 1 Hurling Championship encounter. Lucan leading by 7 at the break, 115 to 1-8. And when last we heard from O'Toole Park, it was Coola who were leading Plunkets by 10 points to 9. Joe, before we get into the match, Brian Cody has stepped down after 24 years and 11 All-Ireland titles with Kilkenny. What did you make of it when you heard the news?
Yeah, look, I suppose there's been whispers around for the last week or so that there was a possibility. Look, the man's iconic to the game. I suppose what he's achieved and what he's won with Kilkenny, and what he always showed to me was, even in, I suppose, like, take away this year and I suppose the whole kind of whatever went on with himself and Henry, but he just shows he cares about Kilkenny hurling, and like, for a man to win that many All-Irelands, and look, he's an iconic hero, you know, of so many people, and aspire to be like him as a manager, and you know, he'll be a big loss. I suppose the big question now is just who's going to take the mantle over from him, and that's the big question over the next couple of weeks in Kilkenny.
Well, that's the nature of life, isn't it? The king is dead, long live the king. Lots of good managerial jobs out there at the moment. Roland Smith hits it long, it's going to drop, or is it? That's really good defending, broken down by Gary Kelly. They kind of overcomplicated a bit. It's swept out, looking for this Colin Walsh. Taking it up brilliantly is Conor Ryan. Very safe hurling there from Conor Ryan. Squirts it out, runs onto his own break. That's brilliant stuff from Conor Ryan. Gets the pass away. Owen Forbes goes long. Chasing after it was Paul Claffey, leaves it off. Is that over carrying? Referee says nope. John Bellew's okay. McCaffrey. Chris Crummy. Crummy with the diagonal. Fantastic ball. Just missing it there is Charlie Kerr. Away it goes from Gary Kelly. Chasing after it. Chris O'Leary still looking for his first point from play. They would have been asking a lot to get a shot away from there. That's a really good ball into the path of Paul Crummy. Referee lets it go. He's certainly of the liberal variety, Jason Buckley.
Yeah, he lets it go, but again, like Paul and you know, young Kerr as well, just the ball coming in, just didn't win it first time, and you know, Craobh were just really ravenous around the breaking ball, and really good defending there as well. Paul and Charlie were a little bit disappointed with that, I'd say, because two good balls inside from Chris and from Rollo as well.
Jogging over to take this, Conor Ryan. Conor Ryan, the son of Murty Ryan.
Yeah, that name is just synonymous with Craobh. Like, you know, they have the battling qualities, and again, like, if they can get him on ball a bit more, he can be so dangerous as a young forward coming through.
Doesn't catch that one well. Derwin tries to keep it alive. Battling for it also Paul Kelly. Speaking of Kellys, Peter Kelly not involved for Lucan today. It's a big loss. He's so experienced and has been down through the years. And the free seemed to be awarded the other way. Then it was given in, so it's a free to Craobh Chiaráin.
Yeah, a few questions been asked there as well, but obviously Jason saw something on the ground and he kind of indicated for a slap maybe, but on the way out. But so again, Craobh have come out the second half and they're showing that real fight and that real want to win ball, and you know, for whatever team, again, if Lucan are to push on here, they need to get that ball and simple scores on the board rather than trying to overcomplicate things inside.
Free being lined up here by Matthew Forbes as opposed to Dermot. Now it is Dermot. Dermot flights it over. McCaffrey tapped it into the hand of Johnny McCaffrey. Matthew McCaffrey. That's a really good ball. Not a particularly good take. Left behind by Charlie Kerr. Does get it up, does get a run going. Gets past Gary Kelly. Doesn't keep his shot on target.
He's disappointed. Yeah, he started really well in the first half, and like I've said, I've been impressed by him the last couple of times I've seen him, but just again, that first two balls have gone into now, it hasn't stuck with him straight away, and that's a poor wide for a kid at that standard.
Derwin is blocked down. This is the first of a double header live on Dubs TV today. The second is coming up later. St. Bridget's against St. Vincent's. Paul Kelly tried to flip it off to Chiaráin. It was a good pass. Chiaráin chased by Colin Walsh. Great ball back inside to Finn. Finn looking for his second point. He's unlucky. It's just wide.
Yeah, it was good passage to play from Craobh there as well, and you can see just a bit of frustration kicking in. And in fairness, when you seen Jack, I think it was Sean Brennan just broke through there inside as well, which would have been another out ball for Craobh to hit.
Batting it down, Charlie Kerr pushed off the ball. Really good defending. Kerr might get a second bite of this. His hurley was held. It's clever defensive play if you get away with it.
Yeah, look, Gary Kelly's a smart boy. Look, he had a good Dublin career as well, underage, and they've obviously put him in and they've seen the danger of Charlie. That's a great block again.
Fantastic block on Chris O'Leary, still looking for his first from play. Away it goes from Gary Kelly. Usanga flicks it on into the path of Billy Ryan. Billy Ryan trying to shake off Chris Crummy. Down it goes to Paul Kelly. Craobh playing with a bit of confidence in the second half. Usanga, who got that goal in the first half, wins the free in. That's really good batting, really good play.
Yeah, big celebration in the line over there as well, and the key thing there, I suppose, that you don't lose the free by reacting afterwards. But look, they came out there, they're fired up in the second half. Lucan seem a little bit flat, maybe need a bit of a change. They need more out of their central characters as well. Like the ball that's gone inside, they haven't won it first time.
6 between them. Should be 5 after this.
It's a big game, Ocean. Like you have to think as well. People are saying, Craobh coming back, but this is a significant game because you look at the other 3 teams in the group, and Bridget's, Vinny's. It's a poor wide.
It's a really bad wide.
But you've got Crokes as well. There's no easy games left for either of these 2 teams. So there's a lot to play for here today.
McLennan went long. What a catch that is from Conor Ryan. Kind of uncontested though.
Yeah, and Kevin Fitzgerald was just running towards the ball, not even looking where the ball was, which is not like him,
Derwin, you want more from him from play, and he was unlucky there.
It's all Craobh at the minute. I think that's 3 wides they've had. They've come out the second half really, really good, and again now what they need here is they need to move that ball fast. Look at the space that's inside in front of Paul.
Luke Walsh tries to find Dowser, chasing after it. Kieran Dowling, Dowser is his nickname. Putting real pressure on there with Stephen O'Brien. It's fumbled by Gary Kelly, but it's Craobh's ball. $120 to 116 when they met in the quarter final last year.
Yeah, it was close. And the year before, actually, I think Craobh put Lucan out. That was my last year. I think with Bowden that they got a couple of goals at the start of the first half, an early start to it. But again, I just think Lucan are overcomplicating things a little bit. Move the ball faster. Look at the space that's in there now that the lads have.
And they have a 3-man full forward line, so it's not like they have no one to battle for it if they go long. Luke Walsh wants it. Plenty for him to aim at. There is a sweeper there for Craobh, but he can't bypass him. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Was that a foul? Referee says no. Swept up by Lee McDermott. Gary Kelly. Carl Salmon, it skips over him and falls straight to James Finn. Finn has space to work with. Finn from a long, long way out. Doesn't catch it right. Will he get lucky and get a 65? No. Good work by McLennan. Stayed cool. You could see his outfield kind of ability there. Here's Chris Crummy. Paul Claffey. Again they go long. Now Craobh do have a sweeper back there. Referee has spotted something off the ball. I think it's a free out.
Yeah, Jason saw, I think it was Frank got caught just for pulling back the young Bellew inside there. But again, I suppose if you're young Walsh, who I've been impressed with as a half back, and Johnny, like the movement inside is not what it should be from Lucan, and there is space to run into. So Charlie and Paul have that space to run into now. He's gone now if the ball goes to him.
McClelland looking for Crummy. Great catch by Crummy. Continuing the run is Colin Walsh. He'll take it on himself and puts it over.
A simple game, again, it's a simple game. Get the ball, make sure your two forwards inside are moving, and have that ability to win. There's one of the Craobh lads have gone down here now with helmet off.
Should he have gone to Colin Walsh there, because he had a free run to goal?
No, I don't think so, Shane, because Lucan need a couple of scores to settle them again. Like, they've come out a little bit dampened in the second half, and like you can see a lot of hands on head. So maybe what you said earlier about the significance of the heat is getting to them, but they look fit. But that movement inside, if I'm Luke Walsh or Johnny McCaffrey or Chris, I want to make sure that my forwards inside are moving. I don't want static statues in there to be hitting ball into.
It's Conor Ryan who's receiving some treatment.
Like, Jason's allowing that physical game. We had him as a ref in 18 for the replay against Crokes, and he does allow that physicality. He does allow that, the hits to come in, and he's allowing that ground ball to be won by the team. And so, they can have no question marks. He is doing that. But again, Craobh, in fairness, have seemed to have cut out the frees that they were giving away in the half back line in the first half.
That was some battle, that 2018 game, the two of them.
Yeah. One of the good days. Even you look at it now when the crowd's coming back in, you'd hope over the next couple of weeks for senior football and for senior hurling that we get the crowds back into Parnell again, because the noise that this place can create when for Dublin hurling when it's really moving is just sensational.
People are readapting to the calendar, I think, as well. They don't maybe realise, the floating fans who aren't in and around the club every day, they don't realise that there's club championship now. I think it hasn't kind of.
Yeah, no, you're right. And there's holidays. Yet. There's people away on holidays and stuff as well, which will impact. But again, the idea of having that the grouping system now that the Dublin County Board have come up with, I think it allows for exciting games all the time, because, like we've said, it's what there's 7 in it here now, and Craobh have started well, but they're just not putting the scores on the board in the second half.
Great catch, Colin Walsh. Couldn't quite pick out Crummy. Sweeping it up, Eugene Farrell leaves it behind. Crummy dispossesses him. Can't keep it in hand. Running onto it, Forbes getting it away to Robbie Mahon. Robbie Mahon riding the gauntlet. Robbie Mahon somehow getting through that gauntlet.
Yeah, Robbie broke 2 tackles. Young Forbes come out as well there and went slaloming through to it. But again, probably a soft enough free to give away. Kind of stood the man up, and Robbie did well there, in fairness. Again, Lucan could consider bringing Dowser out a small bit, because being stuck inside, if the ball is not gone in, that guy can score from 50-60 yards off both sides. He's well able, so no harm taking him out. As I say it, out he comes.
Durbin nails it. Chasing after Darren Kelly. Left behind, Colin Walsh tries to dispossess him. Making a darting run was Johnny McCaffrey. It didn't come to him though. James Finn with the lovely sidestep. The inside run is being made. Paul Kelly instead goes down the wing. Breaks for Durbin, but there was a foul.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Keane today, again from open play. He'll probably be a little bit disappointed with that, but that's a good ball to hand.
Dowling inside to O'Keneela. That's a really good piece of play. O'Keneela has a go. Might drop. No. In the end, it's a bit of a nothing ball. Stephen O'Brien. 2-on-2 inside. That's a really good catch. Billy Ryan hits it wide.
It looked like again the ball went to hand straight away, and Billy put his hand up, but just that over the shoulder, it's probably a 60-40 shot, again when he had an option inside him.
Don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. You can hashtag your social media posts. Go ahead, DSH1. Gary Kelly Kicks it out to Robbie Mahon.
Gary's done really well over there in the corner, like, since they put him back. Like, he's so smart, you know.
Forbes has to chase and just about keeps it in. Craobh Chiaráin ball.
For such a warm day, we haven't seen many changes. You know, obviously Robbie come in, but there hasn't been many changes. And again, a forward line. You know, it looks there's a lot of hands on heads there at the minute. Maybe a bit of insight into bringing somebody new in that might create that little bit of that space inside.
Outside it goes from Kevin Fitzgerald, chasing after his Charlie Kerr. Gary Kelly gets there again. He's done really well. He's grown into the game, Gary Kelly. Now he's won a free.
Yeah, look, he's been, he epitomises what Craobh are about for years. He's never panics with ball. He's a great man marker as well, and we had some great battles with him in the time that I was with Bowden as well. He did a very good underage career with Dublin too.
Ball spills. Paul Kelly driving it on. Goes short to Salmon. Dropped by Ryan. Taken by Dowling. Dowling showing his pace. O'Keneela has time, has space, has a shot,
yep.
Has a point. Another one, his second of the game.
Yeah, that's what Dowser's capable as well. Like, he pops it off to Owen, but like Dowser's capable of taking the man on, every time, and he's just been quiet, when he was stuck inside. So maybe around the middle, that's a good call by Lucan management.
Great take, McCaffrey. Dowling. This would be a mighty point if it was to go over, which it does. Dowling second.
Yeah, look, he's shown that for years at underage level. He's well capable, and and I suppose Cahill and the lads that are over Lucan would have seen that. Like, just took inside. It just didn't suit him today. He was just too congested for what he wanted to be. But that's two great scores that he's been involved in.
Cahill Fenton, the man you referred to, Lucan Sarsfields manager. Lucan beginning to get on top a bit here. O'Keneela. Kelly reads it really well again. Then loses it, but luckily for him, Owen Forbes was backing him up. Jack Murray. Billy Ryan. Murray wants it back, doesn't get it. Down to Osanga they go. McCaffrey against Osanga. He hits it wide.
Yeah, the shouts from the line were take him on, because there's a one-on-one, I suppose, in the inside there as well, with Matt. So yeah, again, look, Craobh will be disappointed. They've had a few wides in the second half when they've got into good positions, and I suppose it's an 8-point game now with 13-14 minutes left.
Crummy. Wide.
Yeah, disappointed. A good ball went in again, but look, he's won his own ball. And again, that's something for Lucan to work on the next day as well. Just shooting efficiency wise, wouldn't be where they'd like it to be. And I suppose Dowser coming in around the middle has kind of settled that down a bit with a couple of important scores. But Paul and Charlie are far better than that in regards to their own shooting.
Osanga has it in hand. Gets the pass away, couldn't find Kelly. Robbing it back, Colin Walsh. Fitzgerald allowed it to beat him. Here's Rollo Smith. Dowling, who's now popping up everywhere. Dowling has time to regather it. He had time to shoot, chose not to, does now. And chips it over. Although the free was coming, he had advantage.
He did, yeah, but again, it's a good call by Lucan management there as well. Like, bringing Dowser. That's the last three scores they've got. He's got two himself, and he created the other one. And I suppose he got a bit of hardship there to put that one over the bar. Yep. But again, I'll say, maturity's improved with him. I've always liked him as an underage hurler. I think he's somebody who has massive potential. But the old Dowser might have reacted in a scenario like that. But he just put a smile on the face, put the ball over the bar anyway.
It's a yellow card for Stephen O'Brien. It's a red card. Yellow followed by red.
Yeah, he got the first one the second half, or the first half, sorry.
Yep. Well, that is a huge, huge blow for Craobh Chiaráin. 9 minutes to go, 9 points down. And now they've lost Stephen O'Brien, who has been solid back there. Lucan have made a switch. O'Keneela goes off. Coming in is Cian McHugh. And just to remind you that advantage was being played, but the white flag was raised. The referee was happy to let the point be taken and let the point be scored rather than come back for the free.
Yeah, and good refereeing as well to allow that as well, because he'd taken enough hardship to get the score. But I suppose Jason let the thing go, and I suppose unfortunately then it's a second yellow for the Craobh player.
McHugh. Can Lucan take advantage of that extra space? Paul Crummy, as you would expect, taps it over. 2 in the first half, 2 in the second half for Crummy.
Yeah, and again he's well capable. That a guy that's playing senior hurling for Dublin should be, at this level, should be hitting 4 or 5 points from play in games to show that, I suppose the incoming manager who's going to be involved, that he's available and he's up for selection. But again, what Lucan seem to have done now is, obviously who the spare man is. Chris will go back in behind. You can see him at 6, just sitting in behind the pocket now, and I just find sometimes the direction needs to come from the line here now, big time, about where they want to go, even though I suppose they're 10 points up with 10 minutes to go.
Coola were 1 point in front at half time against Plunkett's over in O'Toole Park. They're now 6 points in front. 118 plays 112, and that's the score after 45 minutes there. Aidan Doherty is in for Craobh Chiaráin. Ball breaks here for Cian Derwin. They need a score. They need to get going again. They're down to 14. Don't think he was intending to go for goal there, but it didn't quite work out. I just think he miscued the shot.
Yeah, and he probably got a guy inside as well. Luke Walsh is actually sitting as the spare for Lucan now. I think Chris is going to push on the man, but again, here comes Dowser.
And he's got Charlie Kerr inside. Might take it on himself. No goals for Kerr. Keeper does well. Having a pull off, it was Chris O'Leary. Now it's Crummy. Craobh Chiaráin have enough bodies back there. Crummy recovers, tries to get back up. 65 is the shout. I think that came from the referee as well.
Yeah, Dowser had a great run through, and Charlie had broken off, and you need to be brave. I suppose, in fairness to Lee McDermott, made a good save, but you need to be brave on the ground then as well. And look, they could have ended up in the back of the net, but it looks like the umpire called for 65 there.
Well, the keeper, Lee McDermott, is down. Paul Crummy is down. Eugene Farrell is down. Got 8 minutes to go, and it's Lucan by 10. Lucan making another change. Is that Donald Flannery? Yes, it is. So Flannery is in. Didn't quite catch who went off.
Charlie
Kerr is going off. He's worked hard. Sometimes it hasn't quite fallen for him, but he got a very good goal in the first half.
He did, yeah. And then look, Craobh were smart enough to put Gary Kelly over him. I thought Charlie was okay. Like, again, he learned from this. Second year playing senior hurling for Lucan. He's a good prospect for the future if they can kind of keep getting game time into him, and definitely a bright future ahead.
Flannery will certainly inject pace into this Lucan team. Pulled on there by Matthew McCaffrey. Lucan do keep it alive, fighting for it is Darren Kelly. Kelly kicks it, but kind of blindly. The scramble continues. Eventually they run out of pitch, and it is a Craobh Chiaráin ball.
See, all the players sucked completely over to that far side of the field. Like, you've got 70 yards of space here with 4 players in it in the Lucan full forward line.
Ryan wide, he's unlucky. Crummy gets pickpocketed but gets lucky as well. Bit of a slap on his hand there. The referee spotted it. It is a free in.
fairness to Chris, like, you know, he got a fair bang there, but no reaction as well. Like, you know, it takes a fair man to knock him down.
Well, not only could you see it, but where we are, you could hear it as well. It's a yellow card for Derwent. Jason Buckley, the referee, very firm in how he dealt with the players there. O'Leary hits it wide. Yet to score a free in the second half, funnily enough, O'Leary.
And in fairness to Craobh, like, their discipline has been very good. Like, I know people say they got a red card, but their fouling has actually been very, very good.
Ryan has Salmon streaking down the left. Salmon takes it. Lucan have just blocked up the scoring zone. McHugh just about keeps it in play. Now it's taken back by John Bellew. Good ball into the love of Cian McHugh. McHugh might fancy a pop himself. He's got Dowling outside. Dowling, he'll definitely fancy a pop. And you can see why. That's a really, really well taken score.
Yeah, Dow just had a great second half, Oisín. You know, he's really come into it when he's come out the field. It seems to suit him more in around that half forward line, even though he's gone back in at 14 now as well. But he's burnt a lot of energy there in that first 15-20 minutes of the second half.
Lucan cruising at the moment. Billy Ryan couldn't quite make it stick. Matthew McCaffrey.
I think we spoke about this at the start of the game as well. What's really important here now for both teams is that our discipline needs to be held, and I suppose both on the pitch and off it, that it's just something that, you know, you don't need a suspension going into the next day. You don't need anybody. You're whatever 2 or 3 weeks away now. Look, Lucan at this game won, and I suppose for the Craobh lads to make sure that they don't end up with a silly suspension going into it, because match 3 now is of, you know, survival importance for them.
Just a reminder, the bottom 2 in each of the groups of 5 play off against each other, and the loser of that game gets relegated. The top 3 in each of the groups of 5, of which there are 2, go on to the knockout stages. The winner of each group goes to the semis, second and third go to the quarterfinals. Here's Cian Derwent. Scoring difference could be important as well at the end of all of it, so it's important to keep driving on, keep getting scores even if you lose. I always say there's no bonus point for losing bonus point in hurling or Gaelic football, but sometimes when it comes down to scoring difference, it feels like there is if you can get close enough in games.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes it's completely irrelevant, sometimes it isn't. Great catch by Darren Kelly. Kelly's fouled, free for Craobh Chiaráin. Robbie Mahon drops it into the forwards. 2-on-2. Looking for Sean McHugh. Brave block by Bellew. McHugh couldn't find his teammate. They have won the line ball though. Up next, St. Bridget's against St. Vincent's. That's live here on Dubs TV. We'll keep you in touch with the other games going on around the place in Senior 1 hurling as well. Lucan playing here. Coola 6 up when last we heard. We'll bring you a full time from that. If not at the end of this game, certainly at the start of the next.
Seems to be a little bit of pushing, and I don't think you can say handbags anymore now, but there seems to be a little bit of kind of small going on there. I've said it in the square, like, but look, I think it's a job done here for Lucan today. You know, they're going to win this game now, and I suppose it's a case of moving on to the next day. They would have been disappointed, I suppose, on day 1 against Vincent's, and I think what's going to highlight and we'll see it over the course of the weekend, is 2 games from Wednesday to Saturday. It's a short turnaround, you know, and it will be a case now, I suppose, even later on, will the first game impact Vincent's? Will it add to them? Or will Bridget's come in really fresh and able to match what Vincent's did on Wednesday night?
That was a really well struck line ball by Conor Ryan. It doesn't matter where they're scored from, it doesn't matter the circumstances. If you get a point from a line ball, it's impressive.
Yep.
Luke Walsh. Look for Flannery. Flannery didn't get it. Intercepting it as Rollo Smith has options, including Chris O'Leary. Chris O'Leary looking for his first point from play and getting it. He's gone from West Cork to West Dublin. and he seems to be enjoying the trip.
Yeah, good score. I suppose we looked for a little bit more from play from him, and that was that's the first time, and he's capable of that too. Like, winning his own ball is good, and his strike is good off both sides. But Lucan management will want more for him. If Lucan want to win or get near winning this championship, they're going to need their forward shooting and their efficiency be better than what it was today. So if you win a match by 11 or 12 points and you have loads to work on, Oisín, Lucan management will be happy.
Technically, West Cork starts as soon as you hit the viaduct just outside Cork City, but for me it always really starts in Shannon, where Chris O'Leary is from. That's when the journey starts getting beautiful. Sweeping it up well is Gary Kelly. Some beautiful defending there. He won the free. He doesn't deserve to be on a losing team today, does he, Gary Kelly? He's played really well.
He's been brilliant today. He's been really, really good today. And I suppose what's caught up with Craobh in the last couple of minutes is when the man was sent off, like, they seem to just have run out of gas, and it's a big ask, like 14 on 15. And Lucan are bringing in guys that have played underage as well with Dublin that are trying to push into the starting 15, because look, Lucan have aspirations of getting out of the group first of all. That's the big thing. And I suppose Craobh now are going to face into, I'm not sure who their third game is against, but they've got a 2-week break now before either Vinnie's or Bridget's or Kilmacud. So there's going to be a lot of work needed to be done in the next couple of weeks to try and see can they get a couple of points. Good strike, yeah. Good score.
Good score. They're still getting the score, still tapping away.
Yeah, I think Craobh management will be disappointed though that they haven't got many in the second half. They haven't really threatened a goal in the second half after Fran's goal in the first half, and that's something definitely for them to work on, because normally from a shooting point of view, you'd be hoping to get more out of Billy Ryan, more out of Cian Derwin. We didn't really see much of Paul Kelly today, and Paul is a great fine hurler for Craobh Chiaráin as well. So that's something for them to work on for the next day, because you won't win any championship matches with 113.
Forbes. It's a good take, it's a good turn. Is it going to be a good shot from Sean McHugh? I think he squeezed that one over. He has his first. Trying to get it as Paul Crummy. Holding him up, Aidan Doherty. Crummy flings it back, but it is a throw.
Yeah, Jason's had a good game. He's been on top of things as well. He's allowed no ill discipline, and he's been on top of the big calls as well, and allowed that kind of physical game to come in. And look, there is a championship feel. I know that there's an 8-point or whatever, 7 or 8 point deficit now to Craobh, but there was a championship feel about this game at times today, and both teams will have it, like we said, now a couple of weeks break to allow the dual players to play football and then to come back into round 3.
Derwin lining up the free. It's St Vincent's up next, by the way, for Craobh Chiaráin. That's here on the 13th of August. You'll get a look at St Vincent's if you stay with us for the day on Dubs TV, because they're playing St Bridget's live and next. Lucan, they don't want to concede any more goals. One is enough for the day. Chasing after this, Bellew. Did really well, Bellew. Finds Kieran Dowling. Line ball. No, he didn't do that well, obviously.
Again from Chris Crummy came back sweeping in around that ball there again, delivered the ball out. Lucan have had some good performances today, but again, I'm sure management will want more and more and more now for the coming weeks to make sure that they either come out as a definite semi-finalist or as a team that's going to, like you said, hit quarter-finals.
The 10th of September could be interesting for Craobh Chiaráin, because that's the day that the final group games are played. Vincent's will take on Crokes here. St Bridget's will meet Sarsfields, Lucan Sarsfields, and Craobh Chiaráin will be left sitting there wondering what will happen to us.
Yeah.
Will they be wondering about relegation or going to the knockout stages? We'll find out over the next couple of weeks. Intercepted here by Chris Crummy. Lucan have a bye, by the way, on the weekend of the 13th of August. Their next game is the 27th of August against Kilmacud Crokes. It's a long time to wait, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Well, if the summer holidays well out of the way by then, please God.
But to quote the man who was just retired from the Kilkenny job today, Brian Cody, it can be good to get those long gaps because it means you can do serious work and training. And also Cathal Fenton will be reacting to what he's seen in 2 really important games as they travel up the pitch. They have the numbers. Here's Chris O'Leary. O'Leary has a man inside in Crummy. O'Leary takes his own point. Or does he? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, just brought a bit of apprehension there. That's poor, but again, look, something for them to work on. You'd imagine, like you said there, Paul Rigney, those kind of guys, Keane McHugh, Donald Flannery will want to way back into that Lucan team, and there's a way there now with a good block of training over the next couple of weeks if they get into it.
Crummy. Dowling. Lucan have a man down. Doesn't matter though because the final whistle is blown. Lucan win 122 to 114. They lost their opening match against St Vincent's, but they're back on track with the victory against Craobh Chiaráin, who are now 0 from 2, 122 to 114.
Yeah, good win for Lucan with an awful lot to work on as well. And I'm sure, like we said earlier, Carl Fenton and those lads will be looking at ways of improving. There seems to be a silly card now at the end here now as well for just a late challenge on Dowser. I think it's by Young Forbes, the centre back, who's had a good enough game, but linesman and Jason spotted something there as well, but another Lucan man over on the left hand side down. But look, a competitive game to a point. I suppose the standard for Lucan will get more now as well, and Craobh will have to go on and see can they get something out of the next couple of games to avoid a relegation match.
Well, I think that card has been avoided, which is really, really good to see. One of the mentors from Craobh Chiaráin is just advising one of his players to walk away and say nothing. He's avoided the cards, so why keep at it? Was there a red shown after?
I think so.
That's something we'll clarify after. I didn't see a card being shown. The referee, the refs don't want to be involved like this. They don't want to be doing stuff after the game. No. They just want to walk away like the rest of us. But he still has something to deal with here. Chris Crummy is having a chat with them. All the while St Vincent's are coming onto the pitch for their match. We'll talk about that in a second. Well, you don't want to see anything silly after the game. Is there going to be a red card here or a yellow card? It's a red card for Ciarán Dowling. Ciarán Dowling is red carded after the fact, and while that does you no harm today, it could do you harm in the future because it was a straight red as well, which means a suspension could be coming. Well, I'm sure that's something that Lucan won't be particularly happy with. I'm not even sure why the red card was flashed. But
yeah, something happened there with Dowser and the centre back. I think towards the end the linesman spotted. But look, it just puts a small bit of a damper on the day now for them, because to be honest with you, no matter whose fault it was, like we'd spoken about, keeping your cool and making sure that during the course of championship games you're not going to miss out on the third match. But look, it is what it is now. Lucan win, Craobh go on trying to find something, and we look at the Bridget's and Vincent's game next. And
a full time from O'Toole Park, Coola 223, St Oliver Plunkett's own route 315. So a much better display from Plunkett's today, but unfortunately for them not enough to get the win. 223 plays 3-15 I think was the final score of that game. Right, well the thing is we're not entirely sure why that red card was brandished at the end. What we do know is that Lucan have won 122 to 114. Lucan may have to deal with the suspension though coming up to the next game, but that is not a conversation for now. They've got plenty of time to think about it. The 27th of August is when they play next, because when we return for the Hurling Championship on the 13th of August, they're on a bye. Possibly the only disadvantage of having 5 teams in a group. Right, let's have a look at the highlights from play in this game, even though there was some highlights and fireworks after the game as well, but this is what happened during the second half.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing, I suppose, when Charlie Kerr and Dowser came back into it in the second half, in fairness to Keane Derwin, did well on his frees, just missed one poor one I think, but Dowser really came into it in the second half. They brought him out to the half forward line and got a couple of, I think maybe 3 scores, and created a goal opportunity as well. So like we said, hopefully that whatever happened at the end there, like that could have a massive implication on Lucan's third match for them, because in my opinion he was probably man of the match in the second half. Great score by him there again. Thought Rollo Smith did really well around the middle. Without being repetitive, I suppose here's Dowser again taking the ball on. He has that sense of pace, and he drew frees, and that was one actually that led to the sending off for Craobh Chiaráin, where Jason allowed the ball to be put over the bar and then dealt with the incident afterwards.
And in fairness, he is a referee who likes to let things go, so when he brandishes cards he does it for a reason. This was a real scramble around the goal.
Yeah, and look, good defending by Craobh Chiaráin there as well. Like, it was brave defending in around the side, but I think Lucan as well, what they looked at as well in the second half was the type of ball that were given in. It wasn't that lateral straight ball, and like again you talk about the effect of Kieran Dowling. That was a great score off his right hand side out near the sideline, and young Derwin as well. I think Craobh will be disappointed that they didn't really score that much from play in the second half, and while in the first half most of Lucan's scores came from indiscipline, I suppose, in the half back line. Gary Kelly really short things up for Craobh in the second half, and there was very few frees. I think maybe Leary got one, two maybe.
I don't think Chris O'Leary scored any frees in the second half. He got one from play, which is some comparison because it was 8 in the first half. Craobh Chiaráin kept driving on until the end, but in truth, once Stephen O'Brien got that second yellow with about 9-10 minutes to go, it was looking very difficult for them, and that's how it turned out to be. So Lucan win 122-114. They were beaten by St Vincent's last Wednesday night in O'Toole Park. St Vincent's looking for a second victory here against St Bridget's today. Bridget's are playing their first game of the championship today because, again, 5-team group, so someone had to sit out Wednesday, and that someone was St Bridget's. Joe Fortune for now, thank you very much. We'll be back in a few minutes for the second of our live games today. St Bridget's taking on St Vincent's. Earlier on, by the way, in O'Toole Park, as you may have heard, Coola overcame Plunkett's 223-315, the final score of that one. 122 Lucan, Craobh Chiaráin 114, the final score here. We're back in a few minutes with St Bridget's against St Vincent's.